Hey, how you doing? It's your friend Phil here, Project Management Trainer and Coach. Welcome to 40 Days to PMP and CAPM Exam Success. Today our main focus is something in scope management, a process that is known as define scope. Now it's one of those processes that could be rather vague to people who have not been involved in creating a project scope statement before. This process, define scope, is all about creating a document known as the project scope statement. Now this project scope statement is a document that captures four main things: inclusions, exclusions, constraints, assumptions. Inclusions, exclusions, constraints, and assumptions. The other item in this document is so basic that it will be very easy to remember. Why are you carrying out the project? We're carrying out the project to meet an end goal or to fulfill a need. And it's either a product, service, or result, known as a deliverable. Well, that deliverable needs to be defined in great detail, hence the term define scope. So we're defining what exactly the deliverable will look like, what is it meant to do, and also what do we need to do to create this deliverable or to provide this item at the end of the project. So again, inclusions, exclusions, constraints, and assumptions. And don't forget the deliverable description, of course, which is a no-brainer. Now, one of the things that we do in defining scope is called a product analysis. It's called a product analysis because we're analyzing all the different aspects of the product that we need to be producing and looking at all the things that we need to do to deliver those items or those features within the deliverable. So in doing a product analysis, you could gain clarity on things that need to be done that you may not have identified previously as needing to be done. So let me give you an example. I usually use the chicken sandwich analogy. Your customer requests a chicken sandwich. What do? Oh, we can do that. We know the ingredients for a chicken sandwich. But did you take the pain to ask the customer about various features and aspects of this chicken sandwich? Because you don't really know what kind of chicken sandwich your customer wants until you ask. So if we talk about a chicken sandwich that is going to be done from scratch, I mean absolutely from scratch, a chicken sandwich that will use a free-range chicken for its production, a chicken sandwich that will use fresh lettuce, fresh tomatoes, everything from scratch. Can you imagine how such a chicken sandwich would be? It's different from the kind of chicken sandwich that your client would say, I'm good with any type of chicken. Doesn't have to be free range. In fact, I don't want it to be. I want it to be from frozen chicken. You see, there is a difference. And for that reason, product analysis becomes very important because you want to make sure you've captured every single detail and taken those details into consideration to understand the scope of work required. Okay? And that's why we first of all collect our requirements. We collect our requirements, and after we've collected our requirements, we have an idea of what exactly the customer wants, and then we can analyze what needs to be done to give the customer this thing. See? So to understand defined scope, just know that it is capturing everything that is included in the project. For example, a trip to the Atlantic or the Pacific Ocean to get salt water that needs to be evaporated. I mean, that may not have been part of the original tasks on the project until the customer makes it clear, part of my requirements are, I don't want to use salt off the shelf. I want my salt to be manufactured from scratch by you guys. You see? So all of these bits and pieces that the customer wants must be taken into account. And only then will you have a very clear idea, a complete idea of what you need to do the project work, to get the work done, to get the deliverable done. You know, some things that we do on projects are done only because of a particular requirement. One requirement could change radically the scope of work. One requirement to have a certain feature could dramatically change what the team is meant to do. And that's really what defined scope helps you unravel. Inclusions, what is included in the project. Exclusions, what is not included in the project. Constraints, what are those things within the project that constrain us? And then assumptions, all those things that we consider to be true without proof are assumptions. And we need to make sure we document all that. We also need to ensure we document the deliverable description in detail. This is not like a high-level deliverable description that's in your project charter. This is going a step further to flesh out all of the detail. Okay? And that's really what it's all about in defined scope. So don't mix up defined scope that gives you a project scope statement with the project statement of work. The statement of work comes from the customer in the beginning, but the project scope statement is well fleshed out. We work on it, we flesh it out, we make it crystal clear, all the things that need to be done to fulfill that requested deliverable. All right? And that's it for today in our 40 days to PMP and CAPM exam success. I would highly suggest that you take a look at the words that I've got under this video. If you're in YouTube, if you're somewhere else, take a look at the left or right for the text that comes with the video. Make sure you know the terms. Open up the PMBOK guide, do your mind maps. You know I'm big on mind maps because they help. They really help lots of people to understand the PMBOK guide. And if you haven't been taking a look at your data flow diagrams, I would advise that you take a look at those data flow diagrams. Please take a look at your data flow diagrams that are included in the PMBOK guide. Every single process in the PMBOK guide has a data flow diagram. Please take a look at those. Make sure you understand them well. Make your own versions of them. And if you haven't already looked up the book called PMP Exam IQ Test, which I authored last year, a couple of years ago. You can go to Amazon, check out that book. It will really help you with data flows, with understanding data flows. Okay? That's it for today. Speak to you tomorrow.